So Marc Broom, here we are at Merchant Taylor's, 2 wins from 2, top of the table in the Blast. How are you feeling?
Happy with 2 wins. You know, it's a good start for the team, for the girls, confidence-wise as well. 2 different games, 2 mixed games, I think. You know, the Lords game, I thought we were excellent, if I'm honest. I thought the way we bowl with the ball, you know, the plan is to always strike early with the ball, and Katie striking early there was key for us. And then the pressure applied in the power play, even though Sussex started to get away from us, there was no panic, and that for me was key. And then spinners came on and bowled superbly once again. But I thought the fielding was exceptional, and it kind of, I think fielding first allows some of the Lords' nerves to be eliminated within that first kind of power play period, and after that they looked like they were kind of cruising, really. So yeah, really happy.
And then against Glamorgan, obviously cut things pretty fine there. What were kind of your biggest work-ons after that match?
Well, I mean, obviously the biggest work-on will be how we chase down totals, and when you're chasing a small total like we were, kind of middle 70s, there's always a tendency to think, well, I don't have to go hard up top, and you change the process that generally works. And I think that's one of the mistakes we made, is we allowed ourselves to get a bit too comfortable, allowed a few too many dots, and didn't really look to take the game to the oppo as we would have done if it was a bigger total. And I think that allowed pressure to build, and I thought Glamorgan bowled superbly. They didn't let us off anything, and that again built even more pressure. So it's like we said at the debrief, the main objective in any chase is to get over the line, which we did. We didn't do it in the way we would have wanted to have done it, but I thought the highlights for me in that innings was Saskia's innings, where she just showed pure composure and identified what needed to happen. It wasn't the easiest wicket to score runs on if you bowled the ball in the right place, and Glamorgan bowled really well. So we have to be better at finding scoring opportunities to bowlers' best balls, and that's going to be our biggest work on. But I thought Saskia and Pippa, when they got together, just for that middle kind of 4 or 5 overs, really steadied the ship a little bit for us, and got us back on track. And then for Sass to finish the way she did, you know, quite dominantly hitting that 4, you take the win. You take the win. Yeah.
And I suppose in that same vein, you touched on it there, but to know that you can have Saskia there calm and composed, and it can go to the wire, but you can still get over the line, that must fill you with confidence.
Yeah, because we're going to have to deal with lots of situations in this T20 campaign, without question. So Saskia's been very good now for the first 2 games. You know, she's got us over the line against in the Lord's game, and over the line against Glamorgan. But there's going to be a time when it doesn't work for her. So that's when we need other batters to step up and identify the role that they need to play. And if it is going to be that leadership role, then that's a responsibility and ownership they have to take. So, but we've got batters within the lineup that can do that. And I'm very confident that when the time comes, there are players that can step up and take on those leadership roles out in the middle. But if Saskia keeps doing it, absolutely fine with me. That's fine.
And now to move on to the bowling, obviously across both competitions have been pretty consistent and pretty ruthless. Just a word on that.
Yeah, the results kind of speak for themselves. You know, we've got a target area that we want to hit, and we focus a lot on that in training as well. And both seam and spin, the girls are hitting their targets really well. The plans are very simple. This is the ball we want to bowl, and this is the field we need. Most of the time it's worked. So it becomes very hard for batters to score. You know, we haven't had to go to too many variations just yet, but we will have to. We haven't had to change and adapt too many plans because things have worked so far, but we're only 2 games in, and there's enough teams here that will go hard at us and put us off our plans and make us have to adapt, and that's where we get to see who steps up, who's got the ability to stay calm under pressure, stay clear, stay smart. But at the moment, you know, from a seam perspective, we always want to strike in the first 4 overs, and we have done. from a spin perspective, we want to make sure that we can contain but cause enough chaos that the batters have to do something out of the ordinary. And again, that's worked so far. That's not to say it's going to keep working, because I doubt it will, and we'll have to adapt and change. But at the moment, the plans from a bowling perspective are working, and I think the bowlers have been superb.
And finally, Broomy, you've got Kent up next. The only loss this season has been, of course, to Kent in the T20 format. What are you expecting going into the game on Sunday?
What you always expect from Kent. They come out and they play a great style of cricket. It's hard, it's competitive, they don't let up. You know, they've got two batters up top that will look to go hard from ball one, and I love that in the T20 game. And it's something that we didn't deal with last time, so it'd be interesting to see how our bowlers deal with it this time. From a bowling perspective, you know, they've got skill with spin, they've got skill with seam, and they've got a good field. They've got a good field inside. So it's a brilliant challenge for us, you know. And it's like I know I say it every time, but we have to play our best cricket to beat teams like this. So if we come out with the win, we know we've had to play good cricket, because Kent won't give it to us. You know, I think they're still reeling a little bit from the first game where we bowled them out for 60 odd, and it's now 1-1. And I think that's brilliant going into this third game, because they've still got a point to prove, and we now have a point to prove. And the girls are up for it. They're really up for it. They're keen to get stuck into Kent and show that the first game wasn't necessarily them playing their best cricket, but you know, Kent are a good side that we enjoy playing against. So I'm looking forward to it.
Perfect. Well, thank you very much, and all the best for Sunday.
Thank you.